So it's basically summer. I don't have any air conditioning in my apartment, and I can't open any of the windows because it's way too loud because I live downtown and it's so noisy. So basically, I'm dying. But anyways, you guys, welcome back to episode 3 of Curb Appeal. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another episode of Curb Appeal, the series on my channel where I build amazing exteriors for you guys with a really strict budget, and I try and recreate them from a photo that I found on Pinterest or Tumblr or Twitter or Google Images or from you guys as well. My name is Ashley, for those of you who have not met me yet, and I upload Sims 4 videos on my channel, so you guys should go check those all out. But I'm really excited for today's episode because we are going to be recreating a kind of farmhouse inspired photo, so that's kind of why I wore this plaid shirt. I kind of thought that it gave me farmhouse vibes. Let me know if you guys kind of agree, if we are on the same page here. Maybe I'm a little bit weird. I like to match the clothing I'm wearing to the episode I'm filming. So yeah, I'm gonna stop talking now. Let's jump right into the photo that we are gonna be recreating today. Okay, so here is the photo that we are going to be recreating today. Isn't she beautiful, you guys? So this is actually a super simple looking home, but at the same time, there are a lot of aspects to this home that give it a lot of dimension and a lot of curb appeal. So I think that we're going to be able to recreate this photo super easily in The Sims 4, but as per usual, let's walk through the steps to make sure that it's actually feasible. The very first step is to see if the photo is overly edited or not. So as you can tell, this photo doesn't look very edited at all. It looks very natural, very bright, and it looks like how it would look like in person. So I know that I've been repeating myself on that step in every single episode, but for the people that are new, that is a really important thing to consider because if it's super edited, it's probably not going to look as good in The Sims 4 as it does in the photo. So once the photo has cleared that step, the second thing we're going to look at is what gives this house curb appeal and what aspects of this house are actually easily replicated in The Sims 4. So the first thing that I really love about this house is that it's a crisp white. So I really love white houses. I've done a ton of white houses on my channel, and this house, like the other two houses we have built in our past 2 episodes, has the kind of two-toned texture of white. So it's not just a flat, boring white, it's a textured white. The bottom half of the house has that horizontal white paneling that we know comes with the base game, and the top half of the house has the kind of a vertical paneling that I think either comes with the base game or also cats and dogs, so we could use either of those too. I think when you're building a white house, you definitely have to mix up the textures like that to make it a little bit more interesting. The second thing that I really love about this house is the asymmetrical porch on the front. So it's not a porch that extends across the entire front of the house, it's only on the left side. So I think that's super cute and definitely adds a lot of dimension to the house. And that's something that's super easy to do in The Sims 4. The Sims 4 does give us a good foundation tool, so we can make porches super easy. So the other thing I want to comment on is the roofing. There are a lot of little gabled roof pieces, and then there are bigger ones, and then they're on different dimensions and different levels. So I think that makes the facade of the house really beautiful and also just contributes to the overall curb appeal a lot. And I think because the house is white, you can get away with having a lot of different size roofing and a lot of more kind of complicated roofing, if you will. But don't worry, this roofing is actually super easy to do in The Sims 4, as you guys will see in the builds later. As for the rest of the aspects of the house, like the windows and the door, I think that we will be able to use items from the base game to replicate those, so we can kind of choose whatever we want there. So overall, you guys, I think this house definitely has a ton of curb appeal. Despite it being just a plain white house, there are a lot of aspects that give the house a lot of dimension, and I think it's going to be pretty easy to recreate this house in this episode. So I don't think it's going to be as easy as our last episode. There's a little bit more to it, but I think that it's going to turn out super nicely. Some things that I do want to change about this photo, however, is I do want to give it a little bit more landscaping. I think that in this photo, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, kind of on like large farmland perhaps, and there's not a lot of flowers or greenery or anything like that. And I think that when I recreate it, I definitely want to give my own personal spin on things and add more landscaping. So as for the budget, you guys, we've been pretty consistent in what we've used for our budget, so I'm just going to keep the same budget as our last 2 episodes and use 20,000 simoleons to completely recreate this entire photo. So we are going to have to use a little bit of extra budget to add in that extra landscaping that I want, so I really hope that we will be able to keep this whole build in budget. So without further ado, let's jump right into the build. Okay, you guys, how are you doing? I hope you guys are doing well. I really love how this episode and how this build turned out. I really love doing white houses on my channel, just in my regular speed builds, so I thought it was about time that I did one for curb appeal, and I think that this was a really good white house to recreate because of all the things that I mentioned. The house definitely does have a lot of curb appeal, and I think that a lot of people might have just grazed past this photo if they saw it on Google Images or on Pinterest, because the landscaping around it isn't actually that nice. You know, the trees, there's no leaves on it, so it kind of looks all dead, and then the landscaping isn't very extravagant looking, and it just kind of looks like a plain photo. And I think that a lot of people would look at it and be like, meh, I don't really want to rebuild that. But that's kind of why I have that section at the beginning of my video where I kind of walk you through the photo, because a lot of the times you have to just look at the actual house and look at the actual features of the house that make the house pretty and give the house curb appeal, because you can always add your own landscaping and your own trees when you build it yourself. So it really is important to analyze the photo and kind of determine what is it exactly that you like about the house, because sometimes you can be skewed by the editing or by the nice trees or the coloring or something like that. So I think that we definitely did this photo justice and also maybe even made it a little bit better. I really like the landscaping that I added. I think that it just makes the house a little bit more homey and a little bit more warm and cheerful. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, if you don't mind me kind of putting these little changes on the house and adding kind of things here and there while still staying true to the actual photo. So in this episode, I believe, use the Cats and Dogs expansion pack, or did I keep it base game? No, I think I did use the Cats and Dogs expansion pack, so I know my first 3 episodes have been using the Cats and Dogs expansion pack, so I'll make sure that next episode, and possibly even the episode after that, will be using a base game only, because as you guys know, I love base game. I think base game's awesome. You can build amazing things with base game, so I will definitely make sure to keep up with doing that. But other than that, this house does sit on a 20 by 30 lot, I believe, and yeah, we did manage to keep it within budget. So go me. So far, we've kept everything in budget. I don't think I've ever gone outside of my budget, ever. In all of the history of my channel, I don't think I've ever gone outside of my budget. Yeah, so that's pretty good. Like my Love It or List It series, I give myself a really strict budget, and usually that's very challenging, like very challenging. I'm like pulling my hair out as I am doing the renovations, but I've never gone outside of budget, and I don't plan on doing that for this series either, you guys. So feel free, again, to submit photos for me to recreate. So just direct message me on Twitter at Dr_Ashley and give me a photo and give me a budget. Feel free to do that. I'd love to kind of recreate the photos you guys like. And then also if you want to tell me what packs I can and cannot use, that'd be cool too. So yeah, definitely do that if you guys are interested in seeing me build one of your houses. And make sure to DM me on Twitter and not just at mention me or tag me, because I get so many notifications and mentions on my Twitter, so I maybe won't see it, or if I do see it, I won't be able to save it and get back to it. So if you direct message me, I'll be able to manage that a little bit better. But of course, I do want to say thank you guys so much for all the support you've been giving me on this series so far. I've been having a lot of fun doing it, and yeah, I hope that you guys are having a lot of fun watching it. As you guys know, I do always love to bring fresh new concepts to my channel that I kind of create on my own and kind of create from scratch. So I definitely like to do different things on my channel that nobody else in the community is doing. So I really appreciate that you guys are giving me such nice comments and such good feedback. And just thank you guys for all of your support all the time. You guys are so awesome. But yeah, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you guys do enjoy it, because it definitely does really help me out. And as usual, don't forget to keep leaving your comments down below and give me feedback or suggestions on what you guys want to do, or if you guys just want to kind of chat with me. I'm pretty good at replying to everybody's comments, so yeah, feel free to do that. Or if you want to talk to me even more, feel free to reach out to me via Twitter or Instagram or something like that. I always like to connect with you guys and talk with you guys, because I really do appreciate you guys are all my friends. I truly mean that. So thank you for hanging out with me every single Monday. But yeah, I'm not really sure what else to say in these intros, you guys. I don't want to ramble on too long, but I also want to talk to you guys more. So I don't know, I'm kind of conflicted here. But yeah, but I do want to say that all of my episodes and all of these builds are uploaded on the gallery. My origin ID is Dr_Ashley, and I always floor plan them out and kind of partially furnish them. So I'm not going to fully furnish the house because that would take ages, but I do kind of give you the floor plan and the basic layout, and I do put some furniture just to give you a good guideline. But you guys should let me know if you do want me to kind of furnish some of these and actually record it and maybe put it up in another video later in the week or something like that, if you guys would be interested in that. But the reason I was kind of hesitant on filming the furnishing of these houses for an actual video is because I do have my Love It or List It series, which is completely based around renovating and furnishing the interior of the apartments in San Myshuno. So that whole series is only furnishing, and this whole series is only exterior building. So I feel like those two are kind of like my building series and my furnishing series, and I don't really need to do more furnishing because, you know, you can only furnish so much, right? So if I were to add another video on my channel, possibly it could be something completely different than that. So yeah, I don't think I really have anything left to say at this point. I'm kind of just rambling, you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's recreation. Okay, you guys, so we are getting right into the interior furnishing and floor planning. So it was requested that I do include the floor planning process and a little bit of the furnishing possibly in my last episode. So going forward, I think I'm going to do that. So the first thing that I do when I start to floor plan and furnish the interior of houses is I go in with some pot lights and I size them down using the left square bracket key, just so I can light up the entire room and see what it is that I'm dealing with. So when I'm dealing with two-story houses, what I always do first after I put down the lights is I do the staircase, because a staircase can really divide up your main floor because it pretty much acts as a divider essentially. So you need to make sure you're putting it in a spot that will flow nicely and divide up your floor nicely. So I find that usually the most natural place to put a staircase is either near the front door, so as soon as you walk in, or generally speaking somewhere in the middle of your main floor plan, so somewhere in the center of the build, because that nicely will divide up kind of the left side and the right side of your house. That tip won't necessarily work for every single house, but I'm saying generally speaking, the middle is a good spot to put it in. So as you can see, it worked really well for this house. And then when you get to the second level, this is where you put the bedrooms. And I find the best way to floor plan out the bedrooms is to just follow the natural contours of the house. So there were a bunch of kind of boxes that you could kind of make out on the second floor. So all I really did is just added walls to close those boxes and just followed the natural shape of what I was given on the second floor, and then made those into bedrooms essentially. So I know this kind of tip isn't necessarily going to work for every single house, but I find that most of the time, if you just follow the natural contours of your house for the second level, you can pretty much easily section out bedrooms most of the time. At least that's what I find with the houses that I build. So then back onto the main floor, what I usually like to do is just keep it fairly open floor plan. That's kind of my style of building because it's the more kind of contemporary way of interior decorating. So I'm all about the open floor plan. But I usually do kind of like a kitchen, dining room, open floor plan. And then in this case, I have the living room separate, but that's just because of the staircase. And as you can see with my furnishing, I'm not doing anything kind of innovative or anything super designer looking, as opposed to some of my other speed builds where I build an entire house and I furnish the entire thing. The purpose of me furnishing these ones isn't to, show you my amazing design skills. It's just to put down basic items so you guys, when you download the house, you will have kind of a general guideline of what should go where. But I fully expect people who download these houses to completely change the furnishings to whatever they want and make it actually look nice. But for the sake of this series, I'm not going to spend hours, designing out the bedrooms and designing out a dream kitchen like I usually do. I'm just putting in the basic furniture just so people know what I think is supposed to go there. So I hope you guys are okay with that. It's totally playable. I mean, it's not like I'm doing anything that looks ugly. It's just not as nice as what I usually do, in my opinion. But yeah, I hope that you guys are having a lot of fun kind of downloading these houses and putting your own personal spin on it. I also think I'm not going to be giving myself a budget going forward to furnish the interior. So I'm still going to stick to a budget for the exterior, but for the interior, I don't really see a point in actually giving myself a budget because this interior footage is just bonus footage anyways, and it's just for the people who want to download it on the gallery, but it's not really that important to give myself a budget, if you guys know what I mean. And I'm just realizing this now, but the interior is actually completely base game too. I don't even know why I did that. I didn't do that on purpose, but I think I'm just so used to using base game only that I just made the interior all base game. But I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with me today, and I will see you guys all next week. Well, that concludes episode 3 of Curb Appeal. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked what you saw today, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment down below what you thought about it. And if this is our first time meeting, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to be friends or if you want to see more weekly Sims 4 recreation videos. I upload these videos once per week at the same time every week, so I will see you guys all next week. Bye, everybody!